A classified multi-page telemetry log from a private satellite sweep drops onto an encrypted online forum at 3 a.m., complete with raw infrared imagery, magnetic variance maps, and time-stamped coordinates pointing directly to the center of the Uinta Basin. If you thought you had seen everything this 512-acre patch of haunted desert had to offer, think again. The most disturbing, game-changing discovery in the entire documented history of Skinwalker Ranch has just leaked to the public, and it completely shatters the official narrative. We aren't talking about another flickering light in the night sky, a dead battery, or a momentary radio frequency glitch. We are talking about raw, uncompressed sensor feeds captured by an independent high-altitude surveillance pass that revealed a massive, subterranean energy grid actively communicating with an unknown airborne thermal anomaly right over the mesa. In exactly 3 minutes, I am going to show you the precise line of data in these leaked documents that proves Brandon Fugal's scientific team didn't just hit a natural rock formation during their diffed excavation, accidentally triggered an automated, defensive response from a buried facility that has been running on autopilot for centuries. If you close this video right now, you are going to miss the actual physical telemetry that local authorities and black-budget contractors have spent years trying to suppress. This leaked drop changes everything we thought we knew about the ranch's true purpose. It bridges the gap between ancient tribal lore, classified military testing, and genuine interdimensional phenomena. By the time we reach the end of this breakdown, you will understand why high-ranking officials in the defense sector are suddenly asking questions about what is actually buried beneath that red rock ridge. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on all notifications. We analyze the world's most heavily guarded secrets, break down raw classified leaks, and expose the truth every single week, and you cannot afford to be left in the dark. Get ready, because the seal on the ranch's darkest secret has just been broken, and the data coming out of the shadows is deeply chilling. Stay locked in, because what was discovered beneath the dirt is already sending shockwaves through the scientific world. The story behind this leak starts far away from the public eye, originating from an independent orbital satellite equipped with advanced synthetic aperture radar. This high-altitude sweep was designed to map subterranean density and electromagnetic variance across the American Southwest, but as it passed directly over the Uinta Basin, its sensitive instruments registered something that should not physically exist beneath the Utah desert. The leaked raw files show a localized, ultra-high-density subterranean structure that stretches continuously between the Mesa, Homestead 1 and Homestead 2. Unlike natural geological formations, which show random density shifts and fractured rock lines, this subterranean footprint displays crisp, mathematically precise geometric boundaries. It is a massive, hollow, vault-like network buried deep beneath the sandstone, running at depths ranging from 60 to nearly 300 feet. But the density of the surrounding rock isn't the only thing that caught the eye of orbital analysts. The satellite's magnetometers recorded an active, highly structured 1.6 GHz electromagnetic pulse radiating directly out of the subterranean void, firing in rhythmic 3-second intervals. This isn't a passive piece of metal sitting dead in the earth. The leaked telemetry proves that the buried grid is drawing power from an unknown subterranean source, generating a localized magnetic field strong enough to bend high-frequency radar waves. Stop right here and drop a comment below. Do you think this subterranean vault was constructed by a black-budget arm of the US military? Or are we looking at an ancient, non-human installation that has been buried beneath the desert floor for thousands of years? I want to read your theories down in the comments right now. Keep this continuous 1.6 GHz transmission in mind, because what the leak reveals about the physical toll this energy took on the ground crew during their private, untelevised midnight sweep is going to make your skin crawl. The telemetry log confirms that the moment the ground sensors aligned with the satellite pass, every piece of civilian monitoring equipment on the property experienced a simultaneous, high-voltage feedback surge that completely wiped their local drive arrays. Stay tuned, because part 3 is where we break down the terrifying physical evidence the team pulled out of the soil right after that energy spike occurred. Right after that high-voltage feedback surge wiped the local server racks in the dead of night, a private security team led by Thomas Winterton and Dragon conducted a quiet, unannounced physical sweep of the area directly above the subterranean vault. They weren't looking for lights in the sky. They were hunting for physical ground zero. And what they pulled out of the dirt at 4:15 a.m. completely defies the standard laws of geology. Using a heavy-duty, manual core drill to penetrate the topsoil above the mesa's central corridor, the sweep team extracted a 4-foot soil core. The top 12 inches contain normal Utah clay and sand, But as the core sampler reached the 2-foot mark, the soil drastically changed color, turning into a pitch-black, highly compressed sludge with a bright metallic sheen. When they brought a rare earth neodymium magnet near the core sample, the dark sludge didn't just drift toward the magnet. It violently jumped out of the tray, forming sharp, standing metallic spikes that mimicked the exact shape of the magnetic field. Chemical analysis included in the leaked dossier reveals that this sludge is packed with microscopic, highly engineered metamaterials, an impossible blend of pure tellurium, bismuth, and samarium cobalt microfilings. These are the exact rare earth elements used in cutting-edge aerospace stealth coatings and directed energy shielding. Someone, or something, artificially lined the subterranean chamber with a dense layer of microwave-absorbing metamaterials to completely cloak what is sitting inside from surface scanners. If your mind is already blown by this physical proof, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on all notifications. We dig through the raw telemetry, leaked dossiers, and classified data drops every single week, and you don't want to miss our next exclusive breakdown. Thomas Winterton's biometric logs attached to the leak show that as he held the magnetized soil sample, his personal smartwatch suffered a sudden logic board failure, locking its digital screen on a single static time while his pulse spiked to a dangerous 175 beats per minute. Keep this metamaterial shielding in mind, because what the leak reveals about the hidden chamber's actual layout in Part 4 is where this story takes an absolute turn into psychological horror. Consider this your absolute, non-negotiable warning. We are about to dive straight into the raw, uncensored structural breakdown of the subterranean chamber uncovered in the leaked dossier. If you want to avoid knowing the exact physical layout of what sits 60 feet beneath the mesa dirt, turn back now, because what follows is the crown jewel of the entire leaked dataset. According to the high-resolution LiDAR files included in the leak, the core drill didn't just strike strange dirt, it punched directly into a hollow, artificially engineered geometric dome. Natural caves in sandstone are jagged, irregular, and filled with fallen rock debris. But the three-dimensional point cloud data, rendered from the subterranean probe, paints a completely different picture. The walls of this buried chamber are mathematically smooth, forming a clean, parabolic arch that measures nearly 80 feet across. Resting directly in the center of this smooth subterranean dome is a massive, dark metallic curvature that completely absorbs the LiDAR's infrared laser pulses. The point cloud data literally shows a dead black hole in the middle of the render because the surface coating of the buried object reflects zero light back to the sensor. It is a physical, manufactured object of immense proportions, encased inside a solid rock mountain. Stop what you are doing and comment below right now. Do you think this buried metallic dome is a crashed, ancient craft that was buried by a cataclysm thousands of years ago? Or is it an active, underground facility designed to manipulate the energy grid of the American West? I want to see your theories down in the comments. The leak confirms that the moment the LiDAR laser touched the surface of the metallic dome, the internal temperature of the hollow chamber plummeted by 28 degrees in less than 5 seconds. Keep this sudden thermal drain in mind because in Part 5, we are going to look at the horrifying moment the buried facility woke up and fired a targeted energy beam straight into the sky above the triangle. The moment that subterranean dome suffered a 28-degree thermal drain, the energy didn't just vanish into the dirt. It had to go somewhere, and the leaked telemetry logs show it went straight up. At 4:22 a.m., external multispectral cameras mounted along the perimeter of the triangle captured a localized distortion cutting through the night air. It wasn't a visible beam of light that you could see with the naked eye, but on thermal and ultraviolet spectrums, it looked like a massive, glowing pillar of ionized plasma shooting straight out of the top of the mesa and punching directly into the sky at 5,000 feet. This was the exact moment the buried facility linked up with the bubble, the famous invisible force field that has baffled researchers for years. The leaked satellite sweep, which was passing over Utah at that precise second, recorded a massive atmospheric density spike at the top of that energy pillar. The invisible canopy hovering above the ranch suddenly solidified under radar scans, rendering a perfectly circular, 300-foot metallic-looking disc suspended right in the middle of the clear night sky. The subterranean machine and the sky anomaly were operating as a single, unified circuit. This is like something straight out of a blockbuster sci-fi movie, but the raw sensor logs prove this was a real physical event happening over American soil. The buried dome was acting as a ground generator, feeding power directly into the airborne platform hovering overhead. If this level of real-world sci-fi is blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button right now. We break down the rawest, most heavily guarded secrets on the internet, and you need to be subscribed so you never miss an episode. Back on the ground, the security team's handheld radios erupted into a chaotic storm of digital static, broadcasting a structured, repeating sequence of audio pulses that sounded eerily like binary code. Keep this vertical energy beam in mind because in Part 6, we are going to break down the terrifying physical confrontation that happened when the security team tried to approach the base of that energy pillar on foot. Driven by a mix of intense scientific drive and pure adrenaline, Thomas Winterton and the security crew moved toward the exact point on the mesa where the multispectral cameras showed the thermal pillar shooting into the sky. They carried portable radiation detectors, electromagnetic field meters, and thermal cameras to document the ground zero of the vertical conduit. But as they crossed the ridge and stepped within 50 feet of the borehole, the ranch's automated defenses hit back with terrifying speed. A deafening, ultra-low frequency hum vibrated through the ground, so deep it resonated inside the crew's chests rather than through their ears. Instantly, the handheld equipment began to fail. Battery bars on heavy-duty lithium power packs dropped from full charge to completely dead in a fraction of a second. The screen on the portable radiation monitor flickered wildly before freezing on an error code. Then came the human toll. Thomas Winterton's biometric smartwatch spiked to a dangerous 182 beats per minute while he was standing completely still. Simultaneously, members of the perimeter security team reported a sudden, overwhelming wave of spatial disorientation and nausea, accompanied by a heavy metallic taste in their mouths, a classic, terrifying sign of acute microwave radiation exposure. Dragon immediately pulled radio authority, screaming over the static-laced comms for everyone to back away from the ridgeline and fall back to the command center. "Fall back right now! We are taking heavy exposure. Stop what you are doing and drop a comment below. If you were standing on that ridge and felt your heart racing while your equipment died, would you push forward for the ultimate truth or fall back to save your life? Let me know in the comments right now. Keep this acute biometric shutdown in mind because in Part 7, we are going to dive into the shocking thermal freeze that locked down the entire Mesa site immediately after the team retreated. The moment the security crew retreated off the ridgeline, the chaotic hum echoing through the sandstone canyon vanished into complete dead silence. The night wind that usually sweeps across the Uinta Basin dropped to zero. No crickets, no rustling brush, just an eerie, pressurized stillness hanging over the site. And then, the ambient temperature around the borehole plunged off a cliff. According to the leaked environmental sensor logs, the air temperature surrounding the Mesa drill site plummeted by 32 degrees in under 45 seconds. On a warm desert summer night, the air became so unnaturally frigid that thick plumes of frost instantly coated the outer metal frames of the abandoned drilling rigs and tripod mounts. This wasn't a sudden cold front or a natural thermal shift. It was a localized energy drain event. Thermal imaging footage attached to the leaked dossier paints a haunting visual, a deep, sea-purple void expanding outward from the mouth of the borehole like a pool of spilled liquid nitrogen. Whatever subterranean engine had fired that vertical energy beam into the sky was now rapidly pulling thermal energy out of its immediate surroundings to recharge its internal grid. Back inside the command center, Erik Bard watched in disbelief as the facility's primary backup generator suffered a total electrical collapse. The heavy diesel engine didn't sputter or run out of fuel. Its entire electrical system was drained instantly, as if a localized black hole had siphoned every single free electron out of the copper wiring. If this level of high strangeness is giving you chills, hit that subscribe button right now. We dive deep into the rawest, most heavily guarded mysteries every single week, and you want to be here when the next major leak drops. With the power completely dead and frost-coating their gear, the team was forced to use manual tools to secure the site before morning light. Keep this sudden thermal freeze in mind, because in Part 8, we reveal the jaw-dropping nanotech residue discovered inside the frosted soil samples. With the main backup generators completely fried and the Mesa site coated in an unnatural layer of frost, Travis Taylor and Erik Bard took advantage of the stillness to scrape physical surface samples directly from the rim of the frozen borehole using non-metallic, sterile tools. They weren't expecting much beyond frozen dust, but when they got those samples into an offline battery-powered digital microscope inside the secure mobile trailer, what appeared on the screen left them completely stunned. The frost-coated soil wasn't made of typical sandstone quartz or local clay particles. Interspersed within the mineral grains were millions of microscopic, three-dimensional metallic structures, perfectly repeating geometric arrays measuring less than 10 microns across. Under 10,000 times digital magnification, these tiny objects didn't look like jagged ash or natural crystal formations. They had distinct, artificially engineered shapes, microscopic lattices, hollow spheres, and intricate interlocking filaments made of pure tellurium and platinum group metals. This was physical material proof of smart dust, a dense microscopic nanotech residue siphoned up from the subterranean chamber during the vertical energy discharge. These microstructures are designed to suspend themselves in the local atmosphere, acting as an artificial, cloaking network that can scatter radar waves, jam wireless communications, and project complex optical mirages to mask physical craft from human eyes and satellite cameras. Someone has artificially saturated the soil and air of Skinwalker Ranch with military-grade smart dust to keep the subterranean facility completely hidden from the outside world. Pause what you are doing and comment below right now. Do you think this nanotech residue was manufactured in a secret black-budget government laboratory right here in the United States? Or is it an ancient technology brought to Earth from another solar system? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Keep this microscopic smart dust in mind because in Part 9, we break down the mind-bending time dilation experiment that proved this artificial network is actively altering the fabric of space-time itself. Determined to test whether this microscopic smart dust grid was actively warping space and time, Travis Taylor and the team initiated an emergency, battery-isolated experiment right at the edge of the Mesa borehole. They took two ultra-precise, synchronized atomic clocks, engineered to remain locked to the exact same microsecond, regardless of temperature or movement, and placed one directly inside the frosted borehole, while keeping the second isolated inside a Faraday box 50 yards away. They ran the test for exactly 20 minutes, while the 1.6 GHz signal hummed faintly in the background. When they pulled the subterranean clock back up to the surface and lined up the digital displays, the scientific team stood in dead, stunned silence. The atomic clock that had been suspended inside the Mesa borehole wasn't synchronized anymore. It was lagging behind the surface clock by a full 1.45 seconds. In the world of precision physics, a 1.45-second time shift over a 20-minute window is an absolute impossibility without the presence of an immense gravitational force, the kind generated by a collapsed star or a high-energy warp drive. The subterranean chamber isn't just generating electromagnetic interference or thermal drops. It is actively bending localized space-time, creating a protective temporal bubble around whatever object is housed deep inside the stone. This means that if you were to step inside that buried metallic dome, time on the outside world would move faster than it would for you on the inside, explaining decades of bizarre reports of lost time from eyewitnesses and researchers across the Uinta Basin. Hit that subscribe button right now if your brain is spinning from this physics-bending reality. We break down the rawest, most undeniable evidence on YouTube every single week, and you don't want to miss a single second. Keep this mind-bending time dilation in mind, because in Part 10, we are going to wrap up this entire leaked breakdown and explain what this massive discovery means for the future of humanity. So, what does this terrifying mind-bending leak actually reveal about the true nature of Skinwalker Ranch? When you connect every single piece of data from this leaked dossier, from the orbital satellite sweeps mapping the geometric subterranean vault, to the magnetized metamaterial soil, the vertical plasma conduits, the microscopic nanotech smart dust, and the undeniable 1.45-second atomic clock time dilation, the truth becomes impossible to deny. Skinwalker Ranch is not just a hotbed of random folklore, optical mirages, or urban legends. It is a massive, highly sophisticated, fully integrated, interdimensional installation operating right beneath American soil. The Mesa isn't just a mountain, it is a heavily shielded, time-warping fortress. The bubble at 5,000 feet isn't a natural weather phenomenon. It is an active defense canopy deployed by a subterranean facility that has its own automated security grid. Whether this subterranean dome houses a dormant extraterrestrial craft that crashed millennia ago, an interdimensional gateway created by an ancient non-human intelligence, or an ultra-classified black-budget government physics experiment, one thing is certain. The team didn't just stumble upon a mysterious phenomenon. They accidentally triggered a living, breathing system that is officially waking up. The seal on the ranch's ancient engine has been broken, and the intelligence behind it is letting humanity know that we are not alone, we are not in control, and we are barely scratching the surface of what is lurking in the shadows of our planet. I want to hear from every single one of you in the true believer community. Do you think the government will step in and completely lock down the Uinta Basin before the public gets access to the subterranean dome, or are we on the brink of full global disclosure? Drop your final theories and thoughts down in the comments right now. Thank you so much for riding through this massive 10-part exclusive breakdown with us. If you stayed locked in from part 1 all the way to this final frame, you are an absolute legend. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button right now, and turn on all notifications so you never miss our deep dives into the world's greatest secrets. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies, watch your back on the ground, and always stay curious.